Hey, it's Jack, no K, Jack in the attic. I finished my first colorwork sweater. The process was a little rocky, not the actual knitting process, but the emotional process was a little rocky. You know when you try something on and you don't like it? You'll see me lose my mind a little bit in this video. You can skip to the second section if you want, which is going to be discussing non-fiber arts items that I use in my fiber arts. I've been wanting to talk about that for a while, and I finally have my little collection of items here and I'm ready to talk about them. So here's me knitting a sweater and, again, kind of losing my mind. I'm knitting my first colorwork sweater. Ooh. You may or may not remember, I dyed like 7 or 8 skeins of DK yarn. This violent neon green with a bunch of different tones in it. And I was so proud of myself for dyeing solid black, actually solid black. These yarns? Well, they have been for the witching hour Swancho this whole time. I have not made it too terribly far. We're at the top of the eyes there, but this pattern is so fun. This is where we're picking up from. This is where I left off in the last video, and this is where we're starting. I don't actually know really practically how much progress this is because I've never knit anything with a circular yoke. Because I've never owned anything with a circular yoke, I don't know how they look on me. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I have been kind of avoiding recording myself knitting because I'm still new to colorwork and I don't really know what to do with my hands. So whatever happens, don't judge me.
Purchases those outer components with the JH on them. So why did she change the name and take Hill off? Well, the contract was for a 15% royalty on products and the licensing.
Okay, who was gonna tell me I've been knitting these on shorties the entire time? That was intentional for the neck ribbing, but that is very unnecessary now. Okay, my bad. I'll switch those. I cannot switch those. I am trapped.
That's how she manipulates people and that's how she holds on to her audience. What kills me about all this is that she has earned their loyalty, not she also knows that they don't want her to think that they're bad people. So they sit there and they minimize and they contamination. It's not just the lies. It's the way trust is weaponized and how she has them carry the weight for her. People that she...
You're not going to believe this, but I'm knitting and there's a cat on my lap and there's something loud in the background. This is so me. It's so me. Here's what I got done last night. Okay, the dishwasher's still running. I'm so sorry. Here's where we're at. I think I'm going to stop giving updates until I run out of yarn for the first time. I am still working on the first 2 skeins. I'm a little bit astonished at how much has been knit with like maybe just over a skein's worth of yarn. This is DK. I don't work a ton with DK, or I haven't recently. Maybe you can tell. Oh my gosh, my surface is moving. Lyra. Alright. Maybe you can tell I've been making a lot of smaller projects because I now have no memory of how much yarn is supposed to... Oh, my stitch marker. Saved it. Okay, I now have no idea how much yarn is supposed to go into a project. I simply don't remember. It has actually been several days since I've recorded anything because that's how long it took. There it is, for me to not even run out. But this is little enough yarn that I don't want to start another row without caking up another skein. So I said I would check in when I ran out of one skein. That has finally happened. I finished row 63. I have apparently no concept of how much yarn color work takes. Not surprised, I guess, because I've never done something in this scale, but wow, so much to learn. One thing that has changed as I've progressed on this project is this last row, I have upped my threshold of number of stitches I'll do without catching my floats from 2 to 3, and I know 2 is tiny, I know 2 is kind of crazy. I like when it's really tidy, I don't know, but 3 feels perfectly fine, so we're continuing. I went ahead and wound up one of each. I'm not almost out of the black yet, but I don't know, whenever I drag out the Swift and the yarn ball winder, I just want to do as much as possible. So back to knitting. Here's where we're at. I don't know if you can actually see it. I am, let me double check, 2 rows away from the final section, and the final section is 7 rows. I'm pretending you can see this. I know you can't. Oh, big stretch. The other thing I'm working on are these banana socks. This is the same pattern that I started with the other Hobie Halloween yarn and didn't like, but I'm liking it a lot more with this yarn. This is such a chaotic segment, I'm so sorry. However, I don't want to be working on either of these. I want to stop and I want to cast on a new pair of DK socks because I really like making DK socks. Sorry, this whole thing was filmed on a cat butt. Mandatory end of skein update. We are really getting somewhere. Luckily, I already wound up another cake of this black yarn. So starting the 4th skein total, I think I have 8 total skeins, and the 8th one I split into 2 to dye green and black. Because of how much yarn it called for of each color, I didn't want to buy an additional skein. Anyway, hope that works out. I actually hope I have extra because I want to make DK socks out of this. I have DK socks on the brain, and that's all I can think about. I just want to make DK socks. Okay, bye. It's a completely different day, which you wouldn't be able to tell from how everything else is exactly the same. I just finished the color work. It's done. I get to move on to whatever is next. I have no idea. I now have to confront the fact that I haven't looked at the written instructions in over a month. I'm really happy with this. You know what would really hit right now? A DK sock. That would be great. Hello, it's me. I'm wearing my filming makeup from earlier. I haven't taken it off. I forgot to record a bunch of stuff about the sweater, honestly, because I was thinking about the other video I was recording. So I'm gonna catch you up. First thing, I made an alteration. I added the, what am I trying to say? I separated for the sleeves earlier than was recommended. I did it like 6 rows earlier than I was supposed to, just so they're like an inch higher up. Um, I'm hoping that does what I want it to. I also, instead of having the super tight sleeves that I know I'm not gonna like, I added like 20 stitches to each sleeve. So that should be plenty. That should be plenty. I'll show you. Okay, this angle's a little weird, but I am trying to keep my knee wounds from being visible. So you can see where I separated for the sleeves and added 20 entire stitches to hopefully have a more comfortable and roomy sleeve. I'm just doing the black section at the bottom here. Yeah, I think it's coming along really well. Okay, I wanted to record the last time I started a new ball of yarn, but the dishwasher and the dryer were going at the same time, so it was just not possible. We are here. We're here. I have about 2 more inches of stockinette left, and that will be exhilarating, obviously. 2 inches of stockinette in the round. I'm tired of doing that already, but it is what it is. I could just make it short and pretend I meant to make it cropped on purpose. I've done that before, but I think I'll just do it the right way. You know, I've put enough time into it already. Update time. I haven't stood and talked to the camera in a while. I can stand again. I can't hear. I can stand again. That's great. In my last video, I talked about destroying my knees falling on the pavement. It has been over a week. I can stand. I can stand again. I can walk around some, and I can sit in a chair again. That is that update. Let's talk about my sweater. It's actually not a significant update from the last time I provided an update, but it is closer to daylight and it is upright, so maybe this will be easier to see. Okay, here's where we're at. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. This needs like 2 more inches. I talked about that a little bit. I really haven't knit much since then, so it probably still needs about 2 inches more of this black section. I'm wondering if I should do a mid-project block, but what would it change to have the information at this point? I don't know. I should have done a mid-project block like here. Now that we're here, I don't know that having that information is going to make me any better off than I am right now. So that is the main update. I'm really liking how the green is looking in the sun. Very cool. I am aware of at least 1 row that I messed up almost every section. Very small way. I think it looks fine. Can you see it? You tell me. If you can't see it, then it's fine. And if you can, well, we'll have to talk about that. I have like 3 or 4 rows at the bottom that include the green. I have this much of this full skein of the green left and another half skein of the green left. So that's making me pretty positive I'm gonna be able to use the leftover yarn from this to make a pair of DK socks, which is all I can think about and all I want to do still. I haven't given an update in a while. I started the sleeves of my sweater and I don't want to work on them. It's so bad that I started a sock. This is the trial to see if my new sock method works toe up, and spoiler, it does. I wanted to knit these 2 at a time, but I'm doing one to have visually, and then I'll do the second one as the tutorial video. So I started a sock, and I started a crochet raglan cardigan. It's hopefully going to be the really long one, made out of my former almost Hillia dress. That's how badly I don't want to knit sleeves, and they're not even bad sleeves. I have them set up to knit 2 at a time, and they're short. Not short sleeves, but they're shorter because of where they are on the body. This is fully a mental block. It's fine. I just filmed and posted a video that isn't this one because I'm still not done. I told you we'd moved on to the sleeves, right? I don't actually remember. We are this far into the sleeves. Sleeves plural. I'm doing them 2 at a time. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe if I had a longer cable, I would like it more. But there's so much sweater attached to it to move around every row. I am surviving only on the fact that I know these sleeves don't have to be that much longer because I know they start at like the elbow. I really don't want to have to figure a way to try this on, but I know I have no other choice. That's a problem for me. I was trying to think future me, but that's not even true. That's a problem for this me. Hey, there's so much sleeve left. Let me stand on my tiptoes. I've barely knit any sleeve. This is barely any sleeve. Okay, cool. So I dropped a stitch a million rows ago. Can I quit yet? Can I quit yet? Can I quit yet? Spoiler alert, I don't like how this fits. and I dropped a stitch a million rows ago. We're gonna turn this around somehow. We're gonna save this, we're gonna fix this and turn this around somehow. And I'm gonna like it. This is the blocked fit of the neck. It's just a tube. And by a tube I mean a funnel. It's funnel shaped. We're gonna figure this out. I guess it's better to know now that I dropped a stitch. I can probably pick it up where it is. I probably won't have to go back. We'll figure it out. On top of the sneaking suspicion that I don't actually like this, I have now found out that my beautiful, perfect, hand-dyed solid black yarn is not. Is this my first time knitting with this yarn in the daylight? It might be. Okay, well, I needed to be taken down a peg as far as my insistence that, wow, dyeing solid black yarn isn't hard at all. Everyone's lying. Okay, good news, bad news. Good news. I was able to pick up the stitch. Everything is fine. And by everything, I take a look at my shoulders. I'm always saying this. I'm always telling people to look at my shoulders. These are serious. Am I ever going to be able to fit in a circular yoke anything? Tell me right now. This pattern goes by bust measurement. My tape measure is from a Penny's catalog 100 million years ago. But this pattern goes by bust measurement. It's never gonna matter that my shoulders are like wide as hell. It's never. I'm having some sort of. I want this to work so badly. The color work was so much fun. I think it looks so cool. The shape of it, I'm losing my mind. Vote yes or no. Do we think this is going to work out? For me. Vote yes or no. Okay, now vote again, yes or no. Do you think this is going to work for me? And say it in front of my son. Say it in front of my infant child. Do we think this is going to work for me and my shoulders? Okay, it's like a month since I checked in last. I have this much sleeve done of each sleeve. I was knitting them 2 at a time. I just separated them to try this on. I'm gonna try it on, and whatever happens, I'm gonna be normal about it. Whatever happens, I'm not gonna feel insane about this sweater anymore. You'll see, I'll be really normal. It looks like this. We're this far on the sleeve. When I have my arms down, which of course you can't see, when I have my arms down, I'm convinced I should be starting the ribbing. When I move my arms up at all, I'm like, oh no, these are too short. I don't know what that means I should do. Do I continue? Do I not? What do I do? I can say for certain I want to be done with this thing as soon as possible, but I don't want to like end up disliking it just because of the sleeve length. I think this is why I'm gonna dislike it, but I want the sleeves to at least not add to that. I think I am gonna start the ribbing for the cuff. I'm gonna do a row of decreases because the sleeve is so much larger than intended on purpose. But if I do a row of decreases, then the ribbing will be less intense. I mean, fewer stitches. Probably decrease it by like a third, even. Yeah, okay. Ribbing, we're doing it. Okay, so after all of that, it's actually fine. It actually fits fine. What I had to do was steam it aggressively, put it on, and then let it dry that way. I don't think you should have to do that, but it is what I did, and it worked. I'll put in a vertical video so you can see it better, and I'm going to talk about it. I still think this is probably just not the right shape of garment for me. I think when I raise my arms, I'm going to get immediately annoyed. I do have to keep pulling it down. If I grow my shoulders any larger than they are right now, I'm going to have big problems, and I will unravel it. I will fully frog this project. I don't care. I'm not going to make any decisions until I have a chance to wear it in the appropriate weather next fall, winter. So it's not going anywhere for right now. I think it looks sick. I'm going to a thing later today that I would love to wear it to, but it's going to be like mid-70s, so not happening. I guess the moral of the story is sometimes things are fine. I can't believe I almost deprived you of seeing the back of my colorwork. I'm really proud of this part. Not that I have not woven ends in yet, but the rest of it. So after all of that, I have a sweater that fits. It is still funnel shaped, so I don't exactly know how I feel about that, but it's certainly not like 100% best fit I've ever had. It is the garment that it is, and that is not a flaw, but it's not my preference necessarily. I didn't even weave in the ends because I did not think I was going to like it as much as I actually do. Everything worked out much better than expected. I did figure worst case, I get the experience and the process of going through choosing yarn and dyeing yarn for a project, which I had never done before, except for like single skein hats. I had never dyed a sweater quantity for anything. So I get that experience. I get the experience of knitting a colorwork sweater, and I get continued confirmation of my theory that a gauge swatch is sometimes just not enough. For me, I don't know why. Should I have learned this lesson by now many times over? Yes, yes. Whatever. Gadget time. I want to talk about little things. They're really not gadgets, is the thing. They're just everyday items. The first thing is actually these 2 rings that I wear all the time. They are just simple silver circles, nothing on them. I wear them stacked with another ring. Stitch markers. I always have a stitch marker on me, 2 even. It has been really helpful a couple of times, and that's really all I need. If it has helped me a couple of times, I will stand by it forever. I got these. Where did I get these? Probably eBay, honestly. I'm a real eBay guy. Spent maybe $20 total for both of them. You can certainly find either a better deal or higher quality depending on what you're looking for. These have worked perfectly for me. Another thing that has really saved me in a bind. Oh, I have a safety pin sitting here. Okay. This wasn't supposed to be part of the pile, but obviously safety pins. I don't really need to talk about a safety pin. A thing that has helped me in a situation multiple times before I had stitch savers or barber cord, before I knew I needed that, and before I was knitting primarily in my own home, I have been saved by a pen. Multiple times I have had to take a pen apart. Oh, okay, this is the wrong type of pen. Okay, so Sharpie S-Gels have this real chunky ink cartridge. Did not know that. Imagine this is a regular sized. Is that what it's called? Ink cartridge? Imagine I took apart a normal pen and it's a little bit smaller than this, a little bit narrower. I've saved stitches on this before. Multiple times. It works in a pinch. And you know, this exact one would work perfectly well for several situations, but not all. So the regular pen size is probably preferable. Another item I have talked about before, but not on YouTube. I think I shared it on my Instagram story. I have really, really dry skin. It's super annoying. And I am very familiar with the feeling of working on your project and getting yarn caught in dry cuticles like hangnails. And it's the worst feeling. So I am now a huge proponent of cuticle oil. I use Aura Bloom Polish cuticle oil. I have just had really good luck with this brand's scents specifically. All of their stuff is like pretty heavily scented, which is usually a problem for me. I have very sensitive skin and I'm prone to headaches. There are a couple of fragrances that are migraine triggers for me, but I've had really good luck with theirs. Obviously unscented is going to be better for some people, but this is a brand that's local to me, so if I can shout them out, I'm going to. I am actually going to take a cuticle oil break. Hold on. I really have my allergy voice on today. Thanks, April. Every time I forget to use cuticle oil for a few days, my hands go back to normal and I have to realize, like, oh my god, I used to live like this. Unrelated, I am in the very long process of trying to bring back the healthy nails that I used to have. I got too into nail care and kind of overdid it and it backfired, and now I have to grow them back out from scratch. Don't worry about it. This next one might be slightly controversial. I will say I make zero claims about efficacy, I guess, but I do not own a cedar chest or a cedar-lined closet or a house built of cedar yet. What I do have is Cedarside. I spray this on everything, and so far so good. I do have a diagnosed phobia of insect infestation, so let's not talk about it too much in the comments or I will freak out. But I specifically buy this cedar spray because it is pet safe. According to the instructions, you do have to like watch out for sensitivity from pets, but it instructs you to put it directly on pets, so I think it's looking for more skin reactions. I get this on Chewy. Random Kansas City Flex, we have like a huge Chewy warehouse or something, so my Chewy orders come in basically overnight. Side note, that's also where I get all of my candles, because not every fragrance, not every like essential oil specifically is pet safe. A lot of them are not pet safe, so I specifically buy from pet safe companies. So I don't know, Cedarside, I was gonna say sponsor me, but I don't mean that. This one's a classic. I think a lot of people already know this, but just in case, for crochet specifically, stitch markers. I spent, I think, 2 years crocheting without owning stitch markers because I own bobby pins. Oh my god, you can't see that. What's on my hand? Eyeliner. This type of bobby pin, it slides so smoothly. It stays in place. It won't fall out. This type of bobby pin is kind of the only kind I will use. Conveniently, like for my hair and for crochet. This type of bobby pin, multifunctional. Good to have. Good to have. It is less visible, obviously, than a colorful stitch marker, but I have never accidentally missed it because it's kind of huge. This one is a fiber arts tool, but it's not like the most common tool. And I think if you don't like knitting I-cord and you don't have a cordsmith, I had to think of the name, and you don't have like one of the whatever. If you want to make something other than I-cord, I use a lucette fork. I've also heard it pronounced lucette fork. Did I just say the same thing twice? Lucette fork? Lucette fork. I don't know which one it is. I've heard both. Super handy. Does it take a long time? Yes, but it's such an idle little craft that I can do while I'm doing other things. I've done this as a passenger in the car. I've done this walking around Costco. I don't know. Easy. I make all of my cords on this thing because I don't want to knit I-cord. The last section is all pain management items. I have talked about, this is huge. I've talked about my hand massager. That's upside down. I love this thing. I still love it. When I went through my thumb tendonitis issue later last year, I started using this every single night. And now I kind of can't fall asleep without it, even though it is loud and it's huge and I'm in the pain box from Dune. I don't have specific brand recommendations. This was a gift. I'm almost positive it's just like from Amazon. With my situation, to get a little personal, of having kind of specific medical needs, I find myself with limited options sometimes. I am never, ever going to link to an Amazon product. I'm never going to recommend that anyone purchases something on Amazon specifically. I think they're evil. Once in a while, it is my only option. So that's my disclaimer here. Look around, find one with good reviews. I don't know that this is like the best one ever, but I like it. I use it all the time. And I've had it for a couple of years minimum, probably 3 years, and it's still going strong. Another pain item I have are these gel wristbands. They go in the freezer and they stay cold for a while, and they're squishy and they're soft, and you just put them on your wrist. I have also put them up on my hand like this to kind of get this thenar muscle. You can also just put it up on your fingers if you need. They make full gloves. That would probably be my next move if these broke somehow. I don't think they can break. I think I'm stuck with these for a while. This is another thing that I don't have a specific brand recommendation. These are just whatever, and they're made by a million different companies, so just find the one that suits your needs best. This is maybe the wildest one. It is the Humble Bouncy Ball. I'm going to be so embarrassed if I've been pronouncing this muscle wrong. I think it's the thenar muscle. 65% sure, but I don't know. I use a bouncy ball, 25 cents. This is from the Toy Museum in Branson. Against a surface, a hard surface, I'll put it on a table, and I will put that muscle against the bouncy ball and just roll it out. This has been so helpful. I kind of cannot overstate how much this has changed my hand pain, Be careful though, because it can cause more hand pain. If I have a really bad hand day and this muscle's really tight, I will go kind of hard on the bouncy ball, and the next couple of days it will feel worse. I think I'm bruising myself. So proceed with caution, but gently. I think there's no cause for concern. If you use it gently, I think you're good. Don't go overboard. I love going overboard. I have one last thing that I forgot to bring in here. So, last paint item. This is actually designed to do what I do with the bouncy ball, but more efficiently. This is the Hand Titan, Titan, even though it does crank and tighten. Is that why it's called that? Probably not. So, how do I even show this to you? It has these bumps on the inside, and this, and it twists, and I have to actually show it to you actively functioning, otherwise it won't make any sense. So this part goes here. This part goes at the base of your thumb, and you twist this. And it's supposed to release that muscle. I have mixed feelings about this product. It's made by a small company, so I understand the price is what it is for a reason. I think I paid too much for this for me, because I don't think it is perfect for me. I have deceptively small hands. I swear they look normal. Deceptively small hands. So I think this is maybe just not perfect for me. I do still use it. I find it more useful for if I'm doing something with my other hand and I can't be dedicating both hands to pain management. If I'm walking on the walking pad, I will sometimes throw this on, do 5 minutes on one hand, 5 minutes on the other hand. I think this is going to be great for some people. I think it's not for everyone. They do accept returns, so it obviously wasn't bad enough for me to return. I just think it's not the best standalone product for me. I think in conjunction with my other things, it's part of a good hand health regimen, but it's, again, not the one ideal product for me. Final item that I forgot about, so I'm going to call it an honorable mention. I do keep all of my wool products sealed in thick, reusable zip bags that are airtight. Literally all of my wool yarn, all of my finished wool knits, they stay in these bags, and then the bags go inside of a zipper cube. We're double bagging things. I love safety, I love precautions, I love being normal, and I love having really, really normal experiences with the world around me. So those are all of the items I wanted to talk about. Upcoming videos, I do have some summer knits that I'm starting, and I do want to talk about those next time. And I also am so close to proving in my mind my new sock theory. I wanted to knit my own sock design a few times to make sure it really works every time, and I wanted to make sure it works toe up and cuff down. It does. So getting closer and closer to having a sock tutorial. When I do the tutorial, it will be for DK yarn, but I will give a general recipe for the socks for any yarn. I still kind of can't believe it's possible that I have even maybe invented a new kind of sock. I still think certainly someone else must have done this at some point. There's no way I invented a sock, but what if I did? I don't know. I can't find any evidence of anyone else knitting this sock, but I'm missing like thousands of years of textile history, so I don't know. So that is it for today. I hope you had fun watching me slowly lose my mind over a sweater. And maybe some of my little objects can be helpful to you as well. I can't keep going so many weeks between videos because I forget my own lines. don't forget to rest and stretch and take breaks. But as always, go and live your best yarny life, and I will see you next time. Bye. And another thing, this part of the wall, I never have exposed because I always have my closet door open. So usually in this spot, I have a cardboard cutout of our local weatherman, Brian Busby. He already knows I have this. Someone close to me betrayed me and told Brian Busby that I have his cardboard cutout. So I guess I'm fine with telling all of you.